Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to BioShock 2 Remastered. Let's continue. Sorry if I bumped the microphone there. So, as I was loading back into this game, it's been a little while. It's a real awkward place to take a break. Definitely, since we are only a little bit further in this game and then we're done. We may very well beat the game in this recording. It occurred to me that like a lot of old games, the loading at a certain point just stops being something that can be sped up. It becomes this, I guess I should have hacked this thing first. I'm not even gonna try to bother to hack it with that. Let's see, I guess I have either one, and the story wants me to go to the infirmary and therapy first, so we'll do that. Also feels a little weird that we're just using her. I won't let her take you from me again. Father, hold on. What?
I won't let her take you from me again, Father. Hold on.
Boy, was that an example of the subtitles totally breaking. We're still looking for a spider slicer, by the way. If we can find one and we can get pictures, that would be great. Otherwise, I need to regain, I guess, as much bullets as I can for what I assume are going to be like either big sister fights or some other kind of fights with some really powerful characters. What is the water? That doesn't look realistic. It's just kind of splashing in this one little area. We never could break down these things. Like, this seems strange. Like, that's not gonna burn down the door. Yeah, the camera came back on. There's an element to this game that really wasn't ever used appropriately. It's just kind of thrown in there. We've got a ball. We're looking to save the little sisters because we want to save them.
This is not a sermon. I will offer no insight. Every word I speak, you already know.
No subtitles for that. I believe when she starts saying that, that actually is the indicator that we have heard every single thing she has to say.
Mother's people are starting to detonate the charges. We don't have long.
So we may very well hear her say this is not a sermon several times. What are these little electrical chairs to electrocute?
My father was a physician. He raised me not to echo him, but to model the world as it ought to be. I was to teach a simple moral calculus. Each choice as though the world must bear it. Each life or death for the common good. He called it the triage imperative, and would laugh without smiling.
So it sounds like her father was as crazy as she is. What are these, like, this looks like straight up torture of the little girls. Frag grenade. So this would probably be a decent place for them to have done the
Utopia. Said aloud,
Maybe
it
it's not the
evokes
girls that
heaven
are
on
torturing,
earth.
just people.
Yet the word means both good place and no place. An ideal, unreachable. Even in the naming of it, we refuse to believe. And yet, we
This
will
is quite
forever
entertaining.
seek utopia, driven always to want more, no matter how much we have. It is among the grandest of human ironies that our very drive to find utopia has kept us from abiding there.
A different date Oh, did someone knock? Watch me do this, doubter.
Again, just a Houdini splicer. And prisoners. We get a new diary.
With this damn faulty memory of mine, I need to record a clue so I don't forget the key code. Brown legs, red mouths, blue arms, green eyes. Now to secure this log somewhere.
So 4, 1. What was it? 416 and then 6, I think is the code. Doesn't matter, I think. I think we've got the code here anyways. Nope. This, I hope this is right. Nope. Hit A button too early. Interesting, it's not saying the code. Let's listen again.
With this damn faulty memory of mine, I need to record a clue so I don't forget the key code. Brown legs, red mouths, blue arms, green eyes. Now to secure this log somewhere.
So is it 4146 maybe? Instead of Yep, that was it. So it was ignoring the other picture. Drill fuel, rocket spears, phosphorus book, more stuff everywhere. Can I hack this and maybe get some money? I don't even think it's worth trying. There we go.
Think I will smile and act as such. Congratulations. You have just experienced the illusion of free will. Now think I will never become angry again and act as such. The illusion begins to break down. Your genes have no objection to an empty smile, but anger to the gene is part of the program. I submit the following conclusion. The gene is the enemy.
So I guess I could apply this voltage? Should I? Okay. That was mean.
We're almost to the pediatric ward. I expect we'll be fighting our way inside.
So this is a hospital, mental hospital designed to keep people following the faith. Let's see, hack this. Oh man. Let's see, remote hack dart, kind of all we need right now. Again, I just want to leave people alone if they're not bothering me. I have no desire to take them on. This too feels like maybe a test.
Hello, Mother. As you've always said, I shouldn't be allowed to wander the city in my condition. But without going outside, it's harder to hear much about the world. So I'm learning at home. This, I think, is a porcelain tea service in the style of Louis XV. Isn't that right? Now, that's a fascinating sound. And this is called a stained glass window, handcrafted by your adoring flock. They've gone to a lot of trouble to capture your likeness, haven't they?
Just breaking all their stuff. So here's the little sisters. There's a lot of dead splicers here, which makes me wonder what's protecting them. Anti-armor bullets are definitely what we want to max, and then like we can get one more phosphorus buck and some anti-personnel shots. That's the pediatric ward. Let's come over here. I still want to see everything. It seems a little silly not to pick up everything, even if there's nothing here. Administration offices. Now this is interesting because this area seems like it's just like extra.
Leave me alone, you fuckers! I know!
Oh, come on. Thought I'll hack that. I suppose. I don't know what this is, whether it's an alpha series or what going on over there. We certainly got a lot of different bullets and weapons in here. So, there's two different doors. What am I looking for? I guess I'm just looking for more game, which is kind of silly because we do know that we have all of the Minerva's Den DLC, which was... It came out quite a while after the original BioShock 2 came
Things
out.
aren't so rosy for Lamb's little collective farm down here, no matter how much influence she's got with the inmates. She keeps feeding Ryan more and more of her people for the Big Daddy program in order to keep the rest of her flock alive. I think she's getting desperate. I ought to have Weir double the orderlies on all the major junctions.
And it seems like maybe if she takes damage... No, she's not doing enough damage on her own. Like... I don't think it's worth it to have her run around and try and take out everybody without us. Maybe we can certainly include her, but I feel weird about using her. This whole game I'm trying to be a good person, and immediately, once I have what is potentially the ultimate power, I just let it, I go crazy with power with it.
Need I remind you, Sinclair, that Lamb is your problem now. She's no longer a citizen of Rapture. That was the proviso. You wanted her expertise, and now you have it.
Lamb
Ryan
will lead the way.
Industries is your client, and we require test candidates from among your charges.
Forever in her where
Protectors
we're
are
born.
short-lived. Lamb would be a messiah, correct? Well, sell her a sacrifice to save the flock.
So not really anything up here. Just this little extra area. You can see an Eve hypo. Maybe some places to auto hat. And I don't have. Apparently they're just out of armor piercing rounds, or maybe I just picked up some. Alright. Find the picture out of the core. Okay.
I'll send you a postcard from.
Who's attacking?
Who's next?
When you've cleared them out, I'll need a signal. Push the call button on the window there, and then I'll proceed.
So I'm clearing that. Ooh. Where are they? Wow, I'm playing badly. Again, quite a mistake to take a break in the middle of the probably hardest portion of the game. So we got another brute, we've got another alpha series. There we go. And so we've cleared out the area now, haphazardly as possible. I was just trying to look around this area. And see, this doesn't feel like it really gave you the opportunities to set up traps. This should be the ultimate place where you would set up a trap. And see up there, looks like areas where you would go and deal with things. And so she's over there with the sisters, and there's no way to get to the sisters, so that's how they're nice and protected, except for that blanket, which, uh-oh. Did they kill one of them? Oh well.
I'll wake the children up. They're stronger than they know. With their help, I should be able to boil off the water and get us all out of here. Go on ahead, Father. I'll free them as quickly as I can, just as you showed me.
So she's not harvesting them. That's slightly good news. It could certainly have the bad ending here. And she's waking them up and teleporting them with a splicer ability. Now the other big sisters had a basket on the back of their back that they would carry the characters with them. Let's see. Armor piercing, good, anti-personnel. And I think that puts us right back.
You are not saving them, Delta. No matter how pure your intent.
How am I getting Adam?
The surface is not paradise, but perdition. I would sooner see them drown.
We will be reborn. Yeah, and I don't think any of the bullets we've seen... Here. We haven't seen a red ball, so... Interesting.
Look, Father, I know you may not have wanted a daughter, but love is just a chemical. We give it meaning by choice. I will be damned if I let Mother take you away from me again.
That's certainly an interesting
The
concept.
Plasmid, Father. Just point the way and I'll help you fight.
Go on! Eden! Bless me, Lord!
So, I don't know if I should even be using the armor piercing here. So, the little sisters I think are in there, or maybe they're hiding somewhere else for the moment. And what would I want to get with the Plasmids? Like, with 50 more Atom, I could just buy one more tonic and that's it. So, yeah, the fact that there aren't little loads between doors, and these sections are actually the hide loads, goes to show that the engine is at least moderately open enough that it improves with better hardware. However,
That's another charge gone. We have to keep moving. If this building falls, we're all dead.
the main load when you start still takes a long time, and it might actually even be taking longer with the more RAM you have in your computer, because there is a possibility that they would just fill up your RAM. And I just don't feel like I'm gonna get a spider slicer.
Save me, oh Lord!
Splicer.
The war in heaven starts here!
It is slightly the game's fault, I would say, that I'm not playing like an expert at this level, even though I have taken some breaks. I certainly have taken less breaks than most people would have. I imagine most players are going to only have an hour or two per day and would have to play over the course of a month. I've been playing over the course of a week at most, so I don't want the game to be super easy, but I am kind of maxed out on everything and still don't feel like I am. Here we go. Again. We'll just auto hack. Trying to just save as much possible time and money. Skip the blue things. Yeah, slowing down the hacking actually hurt, didn't it? It hurt quite a lot. So here we have a guy just sitting here. We could try to hack that. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Doesn't even matter. This thing's making noise all over the place. Alpha series, I'm sure. The fact that we haven't run into any big sisters is kind of surprising. They should be throwing more big sisters into the mix, just to keep it varied. It feels like I may have taken out all the big sisters in that 2-on-1 fight, and that was it. And I think they could have done a little bit more.
Eleanor was to be a composite of all Rapture's genius. The first living utopian, serving the world at large with no regard for herself. To force consciousness on such a being is to tear its wings away. That was your gift to her, Delta. Just as she hoped. You must be very proud.
So she's talking a lot about her concept of utopia, which there are many concepts of utopia, and hers is downright awful. She loses all her moral credibility after trying to kill her daughter. And frankly, she was trying to use her daughter in a super extreme way, too. That was unethical.
Delta was in top form today. The guards tried to make him take another dose of whatever the hell it is they're pumping into him, and he managed to take on all 4 of them at once. Snapping legs and arms, blood everywhere. They say one of the guys might not even wake up. I wish I could be that free.
That's just Wilson, whoever Wilson was. Let's look at the map. Oh, there's still some section here. If... I don't know. I guess this is what you get when you have the ideology of no regulation and no morals holding you back in science. There are certainly people who think they're scientists, and who I wouldn't even claim they actually are, that would love to do unethical experiments. But ethics is an important thing, and there's a reason it exists. There's a reason why most universities and scientific facilities have ethic review boards that are run by other scientists. Like brainwashing and using your own daughter as an experiment, an experiment subject, are totally something you would not be allowed to do. Even if we had the ability to do it. Kind of thankfully we don't have the ability to do such things either, but we may someday in the future actually have such ability, and I still don't think we will. This is weird, I'm just running through here and nobody's attacking me or doing anything, so... Okay, leave them alone.
Steady, Father. Don't let go now.
So what killed these people? Now I'm in water, so I could electrocute the ground.
Wake up! Why? Rusty tumors hiding.
And still just Houdini Slicer. Why didn't they throw in any spider slicers? Why am I losing at this achievement here many hours away from my last opportunity to have actually finished it? That seems incredibly unfair from my perspective. All these are just corpses in the water. I wonder if they're trying to imply that all these women were being used to give birth to more little sisters. If that is the implication, we needed some kind of dialogue or something, like an audio tape right here, because that's a little bit too much of an assumption to make. Pain is no man's wage. What does that even mean? This corpse move, I believe it was in a different location.
This is not a sermon. I will offer no insight. Every word I speak, you already know.
So, like I said, when you start hearing that, that means there's really nothing more for the game to say. So somebody moved this corpse, wheeled him around to be creepy. He was facing this way before. Oh well. Not that it matters. The scares in these are just slightly off-putting styles of scares that would be fine if there was more to it, but since there is nothing else to it, then it kind of just doesn't matter. Let's go and check out these 3 sections. We have a quarantine section with an alpha series, and let's see. Wow. I just auto-hacked the... Is that mine now? I auto-hacked one of the rockets, and because I auto-hacked it, the trajectory, the force of the auto-hack dart pushed it back into a perpetual, like, standstill. So, wow, one more upgrade. Wow, was not expecting that.
Guess I had the rope of it when it came to Dr. Lamb. She explained how my cravings for control will rob me out from the inside. We found all these incidents in my log where I made it easy for a convict to get the jump on me, just so I could bloody punish him. Christ. But I believe I can do some good down here now, with the family. Well, we have a shot at surviving the fucking bedlam going on up there. Maybe even take the city back.
Let's go ahead and let these guys loose and see what happens. Oh, you're gonna shoot at me, are you? I was giving you a chance for freedom. Running around here still just wasting time. How long have we been playing? Long enough to save. Ooh. 40 minutes. That is not 40 minutes I want to repeat. Even though it's been a fine amount of time to play right now. I certainly don't want any more repeated gameplay. And it seems like there's nothing here beyond that. That got blown up somehow. I imagine these would have gotten released, so it was probably prudent to go ahead and take those guys out. Let's switch back to our spear gun. Every eye for the Wii. That's a phrase that didn't get used in any other place. And so this is kind of the last opportunity, I think, for any spider splices. There we go. Here we have a woman crying, it sounds like, instead of a girl. Is she gonna attack me, or am I gonna leave her alone? I think this is where we hear the thing. Oh no, this is even worse. They were torturing the little sister. So see these legs? Let's listen to this.
Now, one of the girls managed to dart past the nurse today and throw herself over the railing in the lobby. Not certain if she was trying to end her own life or merely escape. But either way, her legs had healed by the time I managed to get down to the first floor where she lay. Now, without proper setting, the rapid healing process had fused her bones back together at odd angles. We had to re-break and set them almost a dozen times, each due to the small window of viability. Now, those children may be immortal, but I can verify they feel pain. Advising Dr. Lamb on higher doses of sedatives to keep this from happening again.
So, okay, they weren't torturing her, but she broke her legs and then they had to break them over and over again. I had remembered it a little bit differently, but it has been a long time since I played BioShock 2. That also explains why the little sisters are always so passive. They're totally sedated. Again, I feel like there should be like this forced breeding program that is going on, but I don't see it. Autopsy. Here's a regular needle instead of the Eve injectors.
What?
The people's child is coming.
I fear you, Molly!
Alright, that's not working. Let's go and reload. It's a little interesting, this is a smuggler's box, but it's got the hand, as if that is also implying some religious overtones to it, which maybe there was some religious overtones to it. Spear ammo sitting right there. I guess I missed the spear gun. I have all kinds of money, so I don't even really need to hack. Let's see. Let's hack this though. Because even at the maximum amount of money, you're still not in the best of positions. See, this feels like another area. Here's a guy upside down.
My first incarnation when Dr. Lamb gave me my mandate to alleviate pain was to block its neural pathways. Now, the preliminary results were promising too, until some of the children started chewing their own tongues off out of ignorance. Need to sequester them away from the others so as not to cause undue stress on the remaining subjects.
So they were trying to alleviate the ability for them to even feel pain, and then the little sister started chewing off their own tongues. And then somebody hung him upside down, and I don't even know what he's hanging upside down with. It's not like there's a spear in him or anything. They just programmed him to be upside down there.
We're nearing another pediatric ward. It will be guarded, Father. Get ready.
She is the way. And see, even at birth, in the cradle, she's brainwashing these little sisters. So they're not even the same little sisters we saw. And this is slightly creepy, but with no babies in it, with no odd sounds, with no real scares. It seems kind of underdone, underwhelming. This entire setup is an exact replay of a broken door we saw in the other section. There's a Rydo chamber with a seahorse, which we never saw a seahorse either. Here we have Big Daddies, which we haven't seen a Big Daddy in a long time either. We've been too busy fighting Alpha Series, which Alpha Series don't even look better than the Big Daddies. So they've failed to improve. I think the Big Sisters would have been better if they were the constant threat.
When you've cleared them out, I'll need a signal like before. Push the call button and I'll proceed.
See, I feel like what they should have done is have that's the Alpha Series. So Houdini Spicer. those spider splicers though. Come on, where are you? And I'm just always pounding on the... Just always pounding on that first aid kit. Give me another first aid kit. Give me another first aid kit. Oh, I've taken a little bit of damage, so I need some more first aid kits. And I just don't feel like that's a good first-person shooter style of gameplay. And here we have some... It looks like we might have some little sisters in there. I don't even see any. There's one. Is there anything up here? All of these girls are kept away from each other. Now, is this the group that bit off their tongues, or is this the group that didn't? Or... I wonder if maybe this is the group that bit off their tongues. Doesn't look like there's anything more to do, so we're... Unless we have a race back or something, I think we're pretty well set for the rest of the game. Unless something happens here.
I think... Yes, we're ready for the ballast tank. I can boil off the water and get us out of here. We must return to the docking platform, Father, now.
So is anybody else gonna stop me?
You granted Eleanor the will to choose. And now, like a plague, she spreads it to those innocents. To be self-aware is a curse, Delta. You are damning them.
And see, her argument just makes very little sense. It's just an ideology based on no facts. No facts at all. Let's see, telekinesis. Can't even get those things, whatever. Again, why don't we just run? Why not just run? Are we ready?
I'm stepping inside the ballast tank, Father. Come up to the glass once you're ready for me to begin. There's no going back once we start.
So wherever these girls were hiding, their hair and everything has made them really, really hot, glowing red. I think they were all blonde-haired versions.
You would rip my only daughter from her home and family and feed her to a world without hope. Though Utopia may die with her, I would sooner see us fall. Goodbye, Eleanor. Mother will be waiting for you.
Here they come, Father! Hold them off until I can bring it to a boil.
This thing's not working very well. More Alpha Series.
Nearly boiling.
Why not set this up so I could set some traps? That's what we would have been doing this whole time. These proximity mines don't feel like they're doing anything.
It's boiling. I can help you, Fight back now. Use the plasmid.
Do I need the plasmid? Switch to another gun.
What fear you bully?
Alright, time to use this. Oh no. Die in the last fight. So now I'm like running around trying to find maybe a health kit or something.
I've done it, Father. The ballast water is gone. Release the docking mechanism.
Oops. Just shot my own daughter. There we go. Now I've got enough health to make it up here to release this.
The elevator to the lifeboat is flooded, Father. We have to equalize the pressure in here or the door won't open. Destroy those glass tubes to flood the room.
Teach them about fire.
Rocket grenade?
We've done it, Father. We're launching. Get to the elevator.
So now I'm going to an elevator? Everybody's drowned but me. Why everybody else drowns but me, I don't know. That seems like at least the Alpha series would still be alive. Oh, the elevator's over here. There's just this door. And see, this could have been a cool fight to do underwater with the Alpha series. We'll be reborn in the womb of the ocean. And there she is. So we've killed everybody here, or Sofia Lamb did? Where's Tenenbaum? She just appeared.
The bombs, Father! We're falling! Run!
And we're... Oops. Guess they couldn't save me. Oh well. I was probably gonna die anyways. Oh, no, I grabbed on. And up we go in this very blurry animation as that section of Rapture falls into the trench. Now we finally get to see Rapture as a slightly bigger city. It's still very small by today's standards. Again, I have to wonder who wouldn't take the good ending.
Father, the Rapture dream was over. You taught me that evil is just a word. Under the skin, it's simple pain. for you. Mercy was victory. You sacrificed. You endured. And when given the chance, you forgave. Always. Mother believed this world was irredeemable. But she was wrong, Father. We are Utopia, you and I. And in forgiving, we left the door open for her.
So she saved your mother. Good ending. Of course, bad ending, she would have killed her. But if you've played the first game, you kind of have no reason why you'd even pick the bad ending. I could see you accidentally
The Rapture dream is over,
it.
but in waking, I am reborn. This world is not ready for me, yet here I am. It would be so easy to misjudge them. You are my conscience, Father, and I need you to guide me.
So I guess I didn't survive after all. So she's absorbing my memories. It's creepy, but kind of sweet.
You will always be with me now, Father. Your memories, your drives. And when I need you, you'll be there on my shoulder, whispering.
She didn't actually drink the atom, so how she got the memories, I don't know. Now look at the hairstyles of all these girls. Dark hair. So the remastering of the first game and giving them different hairstyles, now it makes even less sense. They've always been this way.
If Utopia is not a place, but a people, then we must choose carefully, for the world is about to change. And in our story, Rapture was just the beginning.
Sadly, kinda no. It was the ending. There's highly unlikely that this BioShock 2 universe that goes here, even if you assume that BioShock 2 is actually the same universe as BioShock 1, which, spoiler alert for BioShock Infinite, it's very, very unlikely they would ever make a BioShock 3 that was set in the overworld and had Eleanor running around doing something. I don't even know what she would be doing. In fact, Eleanor as a character kind of is completely forgotten after this game. She wasn't really even wanted to be included. All the characters in this game are specifically just added to be forgotten at the end, because it wasn't 2K Boston or at the time Irrational Games making this sequel. They were too busy working on BioShock Infinite. You can clearly see there was some same concepts that showed up in this game or in BioShock Infinite too. However, to be fair on that point, I think that might be more BioShock Infinite's fault, because they had planned to do what seemed like a very different game from what actually came out as far as Infinite. So at the beginning, again, I said this game is kind of about socialism. It's kind of about a mental socialism, even more than the economic socialism in comparison to Andrew Lyon's objectivism and libertarianism. In a lot of ways, the objectivist idea of governments can't legislate morality certainly opened the door for things like the Alpha Series, Delta, Big Daddies, Little Sisters to come about. And then Sofia Lamb came in as a latecomer and tried to change the system, which would have never really worked. Nothing would have ever saved Rapture. There's not any ideologies that will help when your entire society has gone insane because they're under the influence of drugs. The best idea I could even suggest for Rapture would be to start poisoning the plasmids so that they would get those people clean from the plasmids and turn them back into humans instead of splicers. And that would be a different style of game. I could see making a BioShock 3 where you're going back to Rapture, you're trying to cure all the splicers, and you're one by one trying to not kill any of them, but then there would have to be really, really small amounts of splicers. That's kind of the whole zombie game too. In zombie games, you kill zombies. Nobody's ever made a zombie game where you've run around and tried to cure all of them. You may have tried to kill one or two of them, but not all of them. But I could see making a story like that if you wanted to. It's having played BioShock and not played System Shock, I would like to go once the remastered version of System Shock comes out. I'd like to go and play that and see how that compares. Now, to talk about this game some more, it's something was just always off about it. The level design was always a little off. The characters aren't as strongly written. The story isn't as well written. I do like the Eleanor idea. I think there were definitely elements in 2 that could have been combined with 1. I would really love to see if they're going to do remastered versions of things. Why not take the best parts of BioShock 1 and 2 and then combine them, cut out the bad parts, put in different levels, put in different dialogue, put in different things. A full-on remake. I guess that would be a remake. So, yeah, we have a word for that. It's called remakes, and I would much rather see remakes of these games, particularly as they get older and older. A lot of games you just can't remaster. For instance, Tomb Raider, the original reboot of Tomb Raider from about 6 years ago, was a great way to refresh that game series and put it down a new modern path. And it is almost 10 years old, so you could say we're going to reboot BioShock. I just don't know if there's enough elements in here. Obviously, here's your director's commentary, as much as you're going to get it, is the dedications at the end of the credits. That really sucked that there was no director's commentary in any of this at all. Now, people say the best part of BioShock 2 was the Minerva's Den, so we're going to have to start playing that, and we'll do the Protector's Trial starting in the next recording too. We'll see how long the Protector's Trials really go, if they even go a little bit. I just don't know about the remaster part of this. The game looked fine for BioShock 2, so they put new art in it. Nothing seemed like it specifically jumped out at me, but then it wasn't very scary in some spots too. So with the inability to go now and play BioShock 2 back to back to get to this final section, I don't know if this final section would have been a lot scarier and had just different audio, different art. And that's what Blind Squirrel brought to the table, is this new art that looks different. But it seems really, really unnecessary for BioShock 2 in particular. The Steam achievements are, they seem to be exactly the same for both games, so if you get 100% of the achievements on the remaster, go play the game and get 100% achievements on that. Unfortunately on Steam, they only highlight games that you get 100% of the achievements on, so if you don't want to beat the game on hard, you might as well not bother to do any of them. Or in the bigger picture, you might as well not bother to ever do achievements, because they're silly things that actually hurt the development of the game. Because then they often put in silly things and spend time thinking about putting in silly things instead of just making the actual artistic statement that they wanted to make in the first place. Rapture, I suppose, at the end of this is still here. When people first played this game, they didn't know BioShock Infinite was going to be set in a different area. So it was just by default assumed by, I bet, everybody that we would be going back to Rapture and we would be doing something more. I don't know what more you can really do with it. There are definitely things in BioShock Infinite that changed the story a long time, and there was a delay between 2 being released and Infinite being released, so people had kind of forgotten a lot of that too. I can promise, however, that we are not going to play BioShock Infinite back-to-back. Playing 3 games in the trilogy back-to-back is a long amount of time. These games were for October to be scary games to cover, and I just had enough time to play. I didn't stretch BioShock 1 out for enough time, so now I'm playing this. And man, if they don't get these credits done with pretty soon, I'm gonna exit. I always wonder after a while if these credits are just going in circle for some of these games. I get that people are proud that they work on games, and I don't want to take that away from them, but can you respect the player's time a little bit here? Make these 2 columns scrolling up something, take up a little bit more space on the screen. You can certainly see that there's all kinds of different groups were working on this. 2K Asia, 2K China, 2K Marin, 2K Boston. I don't think actually worked on this one. That having multiple teams all over the globe working on something is not the best way to make a game, and that may very well have laid down why the levels felt like they were just piecemeal put together like a puzzle piece where all the pieces would lock into each other easily. Let's see, we're getting a white screen, then we're getting a loading. So, extras. Playable con. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. The menu here is a mess. And I have to load back into the menu. That's always a problem. So, Protractor's Trials and Minerva's Inn are all we have. No developer's commentary unlocked after we beat the game. BioShock 2 is kind of a forgotten piece. It's worth playing. It still has a lot of problems of the first game, though. It's still a lot of shooting. It's still a awkward interface of 8 different weapons where you could have gotten down to 4. It's an awkward interface of potentially, it seems, gosh, like 9 different plasmids and maybe 9 different weapons. No, it was 8. And really you only needed 2. I only used Lightning Bolt and Incinerate for almost all of the game. Giving us that final plasmid to use Eleanor was kind of cool for a second, but it unless we could make a new game and start with all of those things, which I don't believe there is like a new game plus thing here. So if I hit continue right now, I would just continue to the last save place, and new game would just erase my new game. So that concept seems like it would be really cool. It's worth mentioning we never really saw any fish or sharks in the background, or anywhere in the game, and yet that's what we see here in the loading screen too. I guess there's not really too much to say about it. That's why it's been forgotten so easily. It's just, you definitely would want to play BioShock 1. I would say you probably should play BioShock 2. It's a shame the multiplayer doesn't still exist. Don't buy games for their multiplayer. Anywho, that's going to be it for this recording. We've still got the DLC to do. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.